Hello everyone, Argsy here. Welcome back to the Canadian Cattle Farmer here in Chilliwack, British Columbia. We're carrying on with the work we got started on last time, which is to get this grass that we mowed all windrowed up, and we're going to get in with the silage chopper, forage harvester and trucks and everything like that, and get that all done, get it all put into some silage pits and made in some silage. But before we do that, I thought we'd have a quick look here, because these guys have been working very hard, and they've got pretty much the whole track. Well, they have got the whole track. It's all metalled now, so we've got this well-formed track just leading us all the way down to our new field, which is fantastic. So they got a little bit of metal left over, made a bit of a mess here where they had the pile, but nothing to worry about. So 20 past 12, they must be off on their lunch break, which is fair enough. They've earned it, they have earned it. But like I said, we are going to go and jump in here, get started on some windrowing. Now we are going to use a worker to set up some course play and get them going on that, because I want to get straight into running the forage harvester as well. So I'm just trying to think what we might do. In fact, we're going to head over into the far corner, set up over there, because I want to do the up and down rows first, and then we'll come back and do the headlands last. I think that will work out best. Although we could actually, it doesn't matter, because we're using forage harvester, not a baler. So in fact, I think I will do headlands first. When we get the headlands out of the way, in which case I'm going to set up and start it back down here. Joys of being a farmer and being your own boss, you can make your mind up as you go along. So we'll get this set up. Now, I also wanted to just say thank you for all the comments and feedback about the seed tender and things like that, and those triggers. I had a bit more of a play around with it, and I can't remember who it was, but someone suggested, well, that unfolds. Someone suggested it could have been a trigger issue, and that they've found if they drive, it might have been RoboSock. Hopefully I've got that right. But they suggested driving out of the trigger and then back in, and it might refill. And I actually found out that that did help, and I could get it to work with that. I also found that the trigger for the, whether it was the silo or the trailer, was a little bit offset. So when I was over the front tank and the hopper in the trailer, it would fill the back one. And then when I was over the back of the pickup, it would fill the front one. So anyhow, I have managed to get seed fertilizer and lime into the trailer and getting it full. So thank you very much for all the suggestions and helping me try and troubleshoot some of that. But anyhow, let's have a look here. We're going to set up some course play, get the worker off and underway, and then we'll go and pull out all the other bits of equipment that we need to get this all working. Alright, there we go. Course is all set up, and looks like worker is underway and getting things started. It's good. There we go, getting a nice, decent little width swath there. Now I'm going to have to keep an eye on this, hopefully once they start the headlands, just to make sure we've got the width set correctly. I did have a play around with it. We've set it to 8 metres. I can't remember what the width of it. It detected this windrow at 9 metres, but I think it's actually a little bit less than that. So hopefully we've set it correctly and everything's looking fine. I wonder if we might have had it set with an offset previously. I might just have a quick play around with it, but we'll leave it to go. You can see it's picking that grass up there off the edge, so we'll just let them run for a bit and see what ends up happening. Once they get around the headlands, if we need to adjust it when they get into the up and down rows, we can sort that out. But let's jump out here, go and grab the forage harvester, grab the trucks, and get everything else all set up and running as well. We've got both the trucks out. They have trailers and everything all set up and hooked up. Now my plan is, it's getting turned in and hooked the header up here, the pickup on. My plan is that we're going to put one of the trucks on auto drive, and I'm going to drive the other truck actually, and we're going to use some course play here with the forager. My reason behind that, and the rationale behind that, is that that will allow hopefully one truck to unload into the pit, and then I can get here, unload, do any work that I might need to in the pit to level things off and tidy things up, and we can get things all sorted out. The other thing I'm thinking about is we've got the blade there, the leveling blade. I might reconfigure that to be a 3-point linkage and put it on the back of the John Deere tractor, and then we can have the wheel loader with the silage fork, and then we've got the tractor with the blade, so we can sort of switch between the two as and when we need it. But we'll go over first, get on over this way, get the forager in the right spot, get the course play all set up on them to follow along the windrow, and then we'll get the trucks over here in position and get them all up and moving too. We've already created an auto drive course for it, so we don't have to worry about doing that at this stage. So that's the plan. Right, park up here, sort out the course play, and in fact I won't park here, we'll be in the way of the windrow, so we'll just park out of the way, let them get around, and then we'll get started. We got all the way over here, got the course set up, and then realised the fuel light was flashing at us. So before we go and get the worker up and going, we will quickly head back over this way and go and get topped up with diesel. Make sure we can get to the end. We're out full of the silage additive as well, so we're definitely going to be able to maximise our potential yield from that. pull up there, pump out here and start getting that pumped into the forage harvester. And once we're full, we'll be able to go and make a start on it properly. That's better, full of diesel now, so we should be able to press play, get to the first waypoint. Now it's probably, hopefully, going to unfold everything and get started as we go past the truck here. So look, we have to have a look. It has started. Right, that's working. It'll stop as it gets out of range. We need to get this truck set up and running. These things are noisy. So we've already got the course set up. If we just turn everything on, see our field entry there, it actually enters in back a little bit. So hopefully, if we just back up here, we'll be able to get picked up on that, and then we'll be able to carry on going. Windrow looks to be doing a good job. No dramas with that whatsoever so far. Looks like we've got the width set pretty well. Hopefully, when we turn around, it's going to work just as well, because when I say turn around, we start doing up and down rows, because that's the point when we sometimes have a little bit of an offset on the windrows, a little bit different on each side. But anyhow, let's turn that on, rid of all of those, and see if it will go find the combine or the forage harvester and make a start on getting this chaff all picked up and put into the silage bunker. See, there we go. The forage has picked it up. I think, are we in the way of the trigger? So it hasn't quite made it to the field entrance. Hasn't. Right, we just need to shuffle these things along just a little bit, then we'll be good to go. And perfect, we're in the truck riding along, and forage harvester's up and going. Truck's running along perfectly beside it with some auto drive. Let's give some space there on the corner to get around. Should catch up once it gets past there, and things looking pretty good. 12% already in there, almost 10,000 litres, so it's going to pile up pretty quick. Like I said, the windrow's doing a great job getting around that field and getting things all tidied up in some nice neat rows for us to get put into the bunker. So I think we'll just run along here very quickly, wait and see what happens when this truck is full, make sure it can get back over to the bunker and make sure the tipping and everything is working fine. And once we get all that sorted out, then we'll be able to jump into a truck ourselves and get into getting this field all done. It'll be good to get it all up and underway and finished off. So we've made it about halfway around the field for the first load here, but the truck should be pretty much full. There it is. And now we'll just wait and see what happens for it to get back to the yard and get itself out of the field and go and get backed up and emptied into the bunker. Hopefully we've got everything set up right. Hopefully it's planning a course. I did set it to nearest field exit rather than back at start or anything like that. So there we go. It's figuring out where it needs to go. Probably made it hard by being as far away as possible from the exit, from the edge of the field, but we're driving across and going to get out of there. So we'll wait and see how it goes with backing into the pit. That is going to be its next challenge. It's a moment of truth, see how well the truck is going to get backed into the pit here. Let's go just a little bit further forward. I think the trigger's a little bit closer to the shed there in front of us. There we go, so we're backing in, having a little bit of a think about it. It's not the easiest one to have backed into just because of where the existing course was. We didn't have the option to go nose in there like we did last time. We probably could have, but I chose not to anyhow. But so far so good. Looks like it's getting around into the right sort of spot. Next test is going to be to see whether it backs right back into the middle of the pit and right to the very far end and dumps, or whether it dumps once it first gets into the bunker. So hopefully it's going to get all the way back. But it's getting itself lined up pretty well. I'm pretty happy with that so far. I'll keep a bit of an eye on it here. I'm just looking over in the background at the windrows as well. I'm not too sure how our work is going back there. I wonder if I had skip rows set up, which will be a little bit of a pain. I might have overlooked that on our course, which isn't ideal, but it is what it is. That's what we're going to do. The forage harvester will follow it as well as the windrow, but here we go, getting back into the pit. How far is it going to go before they decide to dump? Oh, there we go, right in the middle. What's the start? At least I've done that part. So with us driving the other truck and getting the blade and everything in there, I reckon we should be able to keep up on top of that. Right, well, we'll let them carry on here. We'll go and get the John Deere. We're going to go and get that blade set up so he can run on that, or we can run that as well. Need to get the wheel loader there, it's got some silage on it, so the other things we need to get sorted out, but looks like that truck's going to run on that course pretty easily. So we've got the John Deere here all set up, but I decided I'd try it out with a little bit of course play. I know we tried it with the wheel loader first time round, and it wasn't too successful, but so far, this could actually be a solution for us. Pushes it through, it does push it a little bit further through than it should, which is a little bit of a worry, but we can come through and tidy that up later on. But if it keeps it flat like that, when the trucks are running, that's one less job I need to worry about and handle, and it will be doing some compacting while we're at it, because that was one of the things that took us quite some time last time, was to get everything compacted. So we'll just keep an eye on it. If it starts pushing it all too far through, looks like it's going to have a little bit of an issue there with the lip as well. We can't adjust that. I wonder if it will figure it out or not. Doesn't look like it. Just that little lip. Oh no, it has. Let's see if it figures it out again. Trying to see if there's a little bit of a adjustment we can make with some landscaping just to raise that ever so slightly. But I think we'll just leave the tractor here doing its thing, and we'll see if we can get it to do some more work. No. What a shame. So close, so close. Just that little lip there. I'll try and raise it. I'm going to try just ever so gently to landscape that and see if we can improve it. I'll probably make a mess, but let's see what happens. Well, that looks a little bit better, so we'll leave that there and see how it goes. Hopefully it's going to work out, but not sure what we've stopped for down here. Perhaps detecting a collision there on that fork or not? I'm not sure. Anyhow, we're going to leave that there. We're going to go and jump on the other truck. Well, we're never going to get the silage done if we muck around with this for too much, so let's jump into it. We're going to jump in the truck, throw things on a little bit of a time lapse, and we'll just keep an eye on how things are going. If we need to stop and rectify anything, of course we can do that, but looks like I'm hoping we don't have a truck stuck in. No, he's out, but he backed into the trees and got stuck. Anyhow, get into it, get some silage made. Well, I've got to admit, it's not the prettiest job, and it doesn't look the most comfortable, but this worker's actually done a pretty stellar job. Let's walk up here. They're struggling a little bit now just to fill in this bit up top here, but they're getting a bit of chaff in that pushed up here, which is great. Got the back edge all pretty tidy and pretty level off, and I think up about here we're pretty much at level. Now over in the field we've got 3 or 4 more runs. We're definitely over in the longer parts over there, but where the rows angle off a little bit, so we've got the auto drive driver, the worker over there. At the moment they should be running, I hope. Can't see them anywhere, but hopefully they're down there behind one of the sheds. Can't see a huge amount of the field from here, but yeah, they seem to be doing a good job. So we're just going to manage this for a little bit longer. We'll probably get over and take one more truckload out, but yeah, we're going to have a little bit of work to do to tidy things up. But actually, while we're up here, how much have we got? 536,000 litres and 37% compacted, so like I said, it's done a little bit of that job for us too while we've been at it. Now we could look to buy a compacting roller, and then the tractor would just run up and over it and just compact it rather than using the leveler, but this has done a good job. I've been impressed. First time I've managed to get this to work for me on Courseplay on Farming Simulator 22, and yeah, just does what it says it does, which is great. Right, let's jump in the truck, go and find out what's happening over here in the field, and get the rest of the silage finished off. So there you go, you can see the forager in the truck down there in the distance. Hopefully I haven't parked in the way. Should be able to turn around here. Couple of passes still to go. You can see across there. A few left. But what I'm going to do, just while we're doing this, we did leave the windrow here. I'm going to jump in this because there was a couple of rows, a couple of areas that just got a little bit messy. What we might do once we finish, this is what we did last time actually, once we finished, we'll jump into the forager, use some auto drive to follow us along, and we'll go and try and tidy up some of these areas. Let's get this button rowed up too, try and get that to work for us. Let's see, follow that down. A little bit here still to tidy up, and there's a couple of rows which will run down like these ones here to do, but the main thing I wanted to tackle was this little bit here across these couple of headlands where we did the, or when the turning happened with the windrow, it didn't work out very well, so we might have to go along and back because I don't think we're going to get it all in one pass. Let's see what we can do and yeah, get it all tidied up. Well, this has worked out pretty well from a capacity point of view. We've just about filled the truck up, and we've just got these last 2 passes to do here, which are on the Courseplay course. And we do have all these little strips that the windrow missed with that offset setting, which just adds up over time, and eventually you get these missed rows. That is just what it is. We'll have to go around and tidy those up. But I've also got the worker stopped, the auto drive driver on the truck. I stopped him over at the pit before he tried to tip, because with the pit the state it is, be pretty hard for him to back in and tip. In fact, the last load I did was pretty difficult to get backed in and tip, so just got that parked over there. So once we've finished this little pass, what we're going to do, we'll head on over to the pit. We're going to dump the 2 trucks, turn the auto drive back on the other truck, then we'll come and jump here in the forage harvester, and we'll go around and try and tidy up everything in the field. But it's gone pretty well. It's taking a while. It always does seem to take a while, particularly when you're using auto drive and Courseplay and things like that. I think it's always a little bit more efficient when you try and do things yourself. But it's worked out alright. I'm pretty happy with that. So let's go and have a look over here and see how the pit driver, the driver in the John Deere's got on with levelling the pit, and how much space we've got left in it. Just taking a look here, looks like we're almost in much the same place we were before, with pretty full up here at the top, and then a bit of a pocket here in the middle which they can't quite get anything pushed into. So I think what we'll do, they should hopefully get out of the way now. Maybe not because I'm not in there, but the engine is still running. No, they're not going to because I'm not in the truck. But what we'll do is we'll get them out of the way, try and get these 2 truckloads dumped up in there, and then we'll go over and get the last of the forage done. Should be if I hop in here, getting ready to back in, they will fold up and get out of my way. Let's wait and see. Oh, for whatever reason, it's decided they didn't want to get out of the way this time. They've been doing it every time we've come through. Anyhow, let's see if we can get this trailer backed up the slope here and try and dump in there. It's actually worked out alright. So, let's get our trailer unloading up on the top here. Hopefully, be able to just fill in this little bit of a blank. And get backwards any further, and go forward and fill up the front of the pit. Both trucks emptied out. We managed to get some right up here in the top, a little bit in from this side, and we're getting pretty close to capacity. 650,000 litres, I think. What, 700 or so in the other one? Can't remember exactly. But there is a little bit of space here. I think we're going to have to use the wheel loader there to just move some of that and manipulate it up into the right spot. And then we'll be able to see if we can get the John Deere up on top and level things off. But for now, we're just going to leave those parked up. We'll come over and finish that ourselves. We're done with the worker. We do need to throw this truck back on auto drive so we can go and get the last of this field done. So we'll just get over here, we'll turn that on now, and we'll go and jump into the forage harvester. There we are, auto driver has caught up with us, and we'll go and get these all tidied up. So there's a couple of passes there, there's a few lumps down the bottom here. We'll go back and forth across and hopefully get all of those picked up, and then we should be pretty much done. Good to get everything all tidied up. I'm guessing we're going to end up with about 700,000 litres off this field, which is, I'm pretty happy with that. That is going to be a good yield and certainly help us get through what I was worried was going to be a bit of a feed shortage. We do have to obviously wait for it to ferment, but hopefully that's not going to take too long. Now, I didn't run through this one with the windrow like I had on the other side. I'm just going to have to wait for the truck and hopefully we can get most of it picked up in one pass. Quiet too. We'll just wait for the truck to come and catch up to us. And we'll get it all finished off. Well, here we are, job done. Last little piece to put in there, and I reckon, I'm trying to guess, I don't think there's quite 50%. I might be surprised, but I'm not sure if there's quite a 50% full silo there, or full trailer there in the back. But yeah, finished. A couple of little bits and pieces all around, but I think we did a decent job in getting as much picked up as we could. So we'll get that all folded up. The truck's going to go and probably go and try and unload actually. But let's just turn that off there. We're going to go and hop in, catch up to him. I just wanted to see exactly how much we ended up with. And we don't want him to do the tipping anyhow. We did get more than that, 59% of 38,500 litres. Let's turn that off and we'll go and get this tipped into the silo, into the bunker, sorry. And then we'll try and get everything finished off, levelled, and get a blanket put over top of it. And start getting it fermenting. Interesting to see how well we can get the rest of this in there. I reckon we're going to be touch and go as to whether we can squeeze all of this trailer load up into the silo or not. It's going to be tight. Anyhow, let's give it a go and get everything finished off. Well, 25 minutes later, we've just about got the compaction all complete. Had a couple of little whoopsies, got distracted by other things, and went off the edge of the stack, but never rolled the tractor, which was positive. We tried to do a wheel stand. Other than that, everything's pretty good. There we go, 100%. So now the tough challenge, can we drive off without pushing too much out of the front of the pit and without losing compaction? We won't be able to push any up. Now, I couldn't actually get all of the grass, all the chaff into the pit either. We've actually still got about 20,000 litres sitting up in the back of the truck. I've just left up in there for now. But there we go, all done. So we'll head on back down this side. I tested out the wheel loader to see if it would compact any faster than the tractor did, and they didn't seem to go any different, so just carried on with this. I imagine if we had the compacting rollers on the back instead of the blade wasn't really doing anything. In fact, I only just noticed it flips through the tyres. Very nice. Anyhow, let's go over here, and I think we jump up on here, press R, and there we go, everything's covered. How much do we miss? A little bit off the front. So I'll grab the wheel loader and we'll tidy that up. Let's just have a look at the other end. Not too much out there. We can pick that up, and I think, looking at our silage, I've been giving some thought to this while we were doing that. This will be gone soon, so we'll be able to next cut a grass when we'll have both fields to do, this one and the new one. We'll be able to put all the grass in there, but obviously we're going to get more than we can fit in one pit. So I do still have space for another bunker in here, or I could put another shed in, and maybe, and this is what I'm actually thinking we might do, for a bit of variety, but also just to make it a bit different for handling as well. Put another hay barn down here, another one of these barns, and then we can have one for straw, one for hay, and then we can put some silage in there. Bearing in mind we're going to have our clover hay soon. We're also going to have, well, we'll use our clover hay before we buy in any hay, but once the clover hay's gone, then we will be buying in some hay, and we can use that. So we'll have a straw, hay, and silage barn, plus 2 grass silos here. We're going to need a lot of our bags for our maize silage when that comes in, and that is all going to go down there as well. And we've obviously got the fermenting silo still, which is still processing. I'm just going to have a look. It's still got a couple 100,000 litres in here, I think, that's going through it. 163,000 litres of fresh maize and still 57 of maize silage. So we've still got quite a bit to process through that. Hopefully it'll be empty by the time we get to needing to fill it up again. But there, that is us done. So, perfect place there to wrap things up. Next episode, I think we'll be back out in this field. In fact, let's just go have a look. We are going to get some lime and some nitrogen on there too. It's perfect at that spot. I wouldn't have thought it would be good. So I think we're going to get some slurry spread in here, and we'll also get some lime put on it too, so we can boost that production and boost that yield. Also, we get more than the 700,000 or so litres that we got off the field this time. Anyhow, that is enough for me. Thank you all very much for watching. Hope you've enjoyed that episode, and I'll catch you in the next one.